experiencing those undefined centers. We are here to experience them truly, deeply, and gain that wisdom. My name is Sarah Linhares, a 3-5 mental projector, artist, mystic, and transformation guide. Embody My Soul dives into metaphysics, human design, astrology, health and well-being, and esoterics, bringing practical, lived wisdom and the alchemy of turning limitation into liberation, self-empowerment, and soul-embodied living. Today, I want to talk about our undefined centers and what they bring to our life. What can we take from these undefined centers that we might feel are oppressive because we don't have that consistent channel of energy running between centers? But I want to tell you that undefined centers are a superpower. This is where we go to school. This is where we have the potential to have the biggest wisdom, the biggest impact on others. And this is where we are going to sell our wisdom from, meaning we will attract people when we learn the wisdom of that undefined center. That will be the thing people will come to us for our unique perspective, okay? With these undefined centers, we are deep in the learning process. This is where we are learning what it means. For example, the spleen. We are deeply learning what fear means. We have to face our fear. We have to go through our fear. We get to know the deep depths, the murky, mucky crap of what that fear feels like. I'll give you an example from my life. I had a severe anxiety disorder for a period. I literally could not sleep and I couldn't leave my house for a period of time because I would just be overwhelmed with this fear that would come out of nowhere, where I would feel paralyzed and I would go into a panic attack where I thought I wasn't breathing, my heart was stopping. I actually went to the hospital thinking I was having a heart attack because I did not understand how my mind had built this fear up so intensely that I literally thought I was dying in the moment. So that anxiety disorder that I struggled through, it took me quite some time to work through. This was many, many years ago. I had to do a deep healing process to go through that fear. But I didn't understand at the time that that fear was not only my fear, but I was expanding and amplifying the fear of everyone around me. This was the time of 9/11. So I was picking up on the fear of the people in general. It was literally the week of 9/11 that I began to have this severe anxiety disorder. It was already present, but that was the week that I began my insomniac, month-long insomnia journey. So now, what I've learned is how fear operates, how to move through fear, and how the fear allows me to survive, and how to discern when the fear is real or the fear is just the imagination, the looping of the brain. So, with all these undefined centers, we are going deep into the school. For example, the emotional center, that's another very deep one, is like we feel all human emotions when we have an undefined solar plexus because we're picking up and amplifying the emotions of those around us. So imagine you have an undefined solar plexus with some gates activated, okay? And you live with emotional people, such as myself. Multiple people in my family are emotional beings. So I was an emotional wreck. I thought I was completely out of my mind sometimes with my emotional world. I would suffer deep, deep sadness, deep anger. And at the time, I didn't understand that I was expanding and amplifying the emotional wave of my family members. So what I've learned is how emotional waves work. What I've learned is that you go up, you go down, and you find the way through. And while you're in the chaos, it's not a time of clarity. It's not a time to be impulsive. So it's really about learning the wisdom of each of the centers. These open centers are where deep conditioning happens for us. These are usually the places where we think we are something that we're not. It's where we're most influenced by the people in our life and where we're most influenced by others. This is where we need to learn the core mantras of each of the undefined centers of knowing when enough is enough, the sacral center. We have an undefined sacral. We don't know when enough is enough. That's a core mantra that you can internalize in your being, that you can learn to remind yourself every time you see yourself or feel yourself going 100 miles an hour. The crash is real. It is coming. We don't know when to stop. So it's about learning the mantra of each of those centers, the basic mantra, and then going deep, deep, deep into your specific gates. The gates that you have in those undefined centers is where your wisdom and your natural filtering system is. It's how you're processing whatever is happening in that center always. So you always have that reference. It's like a little superpower skill you have. So you do really want to look at those gates in your undefined centers, because those are the gates that are going to hook up to somebody else that's going to take you on the ride of that undefined center. Where you are open is where your superpower is. It's where you're here to learn. It's what you're here to experience. It's how you're here to be lost in the conditioning and then found. So it's really about experiencing those undefined centers. We are here to experience them truly, deeply, and gain that wisdom. Thanks so much for listening, subscribing, sharing, liking, and commenting. And do stay tuned for next time.